Garten says a go-to dinner should be easy to make, but still good enough to get everyone to the table, and good enough to make over and over again. Which is interesting, because in this book, go-to sometimes looks like hot dogs and puff pastry, mussels with saffron cream, and eggs with lobster and crab. So today, I'm cooking 3 recipes from go-to dinners to answer one question. Are these actual go-to dinners? Hey, I'm the cookbook reviewer. I actually cook from cookbooks and tell you if they're worth owning. I rate recipes on 2 things: outcome, how good it tastes, and whether I'd make it again, and CPR, cussing per recipe, because how mad you get while cooking matters. Today, we're reviewing Go-To Dinners by Ina Garten. If you somehow don't know Ina Garten, welcome. She's the Barefoot Contessa, and her entire brand is confidence. Ina's food is generous, specific, and assumes you're using good, high-quality ingredients and real amounts of butter. She's not about taking shortcuts or hacks. She's making sure things actually work. Her recipes are designed to work and to make you feel calm while you're cooking. Ina writes that the pandemic had a big impact on how she cooks. Before, if she was having people over, she'd plan these full, multi-course dinner party situations. And then, after the pandemic, everything felt like so much more work. Like the same dinner party suddenly required project management. So she started making simpler meals and thinking differently about how she actually wanted to serve dinner with friends now. And her logic is very Ina. If she enjoyed eating this way, her friends would too. So she relaxed the concept of what she considered dinner. This book really feels like Ina saying, okay, this is how we live now. The pandemic also redefined leftovers for her, because for a while, honestly, you had to eat leftovers. You couldn't just always run to the store. But her idea of leftovers is not sad container roulette like it is for most of us. It's reusing ingredients on purpose. She gives an example with chicken in a pot with orzo, then using the leftover chicken the next day to make ravioli and brodo, which honestly, to me, that's not really leftovers. That's a sequel. She says the specific qualities at the heart of the book are easy, make ahead, prep ahead, freeze ahead, or assembled. So the promise isn't shortcuts. It's this will work, and you're still going to enjoy being a person while you cook it. She opens the book with basically, I love you, come for dinner. And isn't that the invitation we all want to hear? She frames come for dinner as a celebration of community. You can feel that throughout the book, and the way it's organized tells you what kind of go-to she actually means. It's broken into drinks and apps, breakfast for dinner, light dinners, family dinners, vegetables and sides, and desserts. So it's less, what can I throw together at 6:30, and more, people are coming over and I don't want to spiral. And if you want to test drive before committing, a few of these recipes are actually floating around on the internet. Like the creamy chicken thighs are on her website and the marble potatoes on Food Network. So I picked 4 recipes that should really test Ina's whole thesis. Easy to prepare, delicious enough to get everybody around the table, and something you'd actually want to make again. Let's start with the one that made me question whether this needed to even be a recipe. On paper, this is just scrambled eggs with black pepper. That's it. I went into this fully prepared to say this did not need to be published as a recipe. But these were still very good eggs. However, mine didn't come out as custardy and dreamy as I think they're supposed to. So either A, I didn't make this correctly, or B, Ina's stove is emotionally supportive. I'd like to make this again. I want to nail that custard texture. Outcome for me was 7 out of 10. CPR of 1, not because it's hard, but because the eggs I think could sense my fear. Verdict overall was that they were really good, and I'm coming back for it to try it again and see if I can nail that custardy, creamy texture that I was looking for. This is a very classic Ina move. It's not a shortcut cooking, it's simple technique that makes you look capable. Chicken thighs, leeks, and onions, white wine, thyme, lemon, creaminess. And suddenly, it's a real dinner. Here's the thing, my family loved this. They rated it really high, like strong, 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 energy. Personally, I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I think that's just my own preference because objectively, it works. The sauce is cozy, the flavors are clean, and it has that everyone come around, sit down for dinner, dinner is happening energy. The outcome for me was 7 out of 10. I'm going to continue to use my score only just because I think that's the best so that you guys can kind of consistently see how I'm rating things. And then the CPR was 1. It takes some time, but it's actually super easy and it pays you back. The overall verdict, if you cook for other humans, this is a strong go-to. The next thing I made was marbled potatoes with garlic and herbs. These were easy. They're reliable. They will absolutely get eaten. But for me, they were good, not special. And listen, my family has Irish roots. We love potatoes. No one here is turning down a potato. So the bar for successful potato recipe is already pretty low. This one didn't hit the flavor moment I was hoping for. I wanted more wow. And it stayed firmly in the, yeah, that's a potato. The outcome was 6 out of 10 for me with a CPR of 1. Very low drama, just didn't sing for me. These were a solid side, but not the ones I'd make to impress. The last thing I made was maple roasted Honeynut squash. This one was so easy. The hardest part was cutting the squash in half. That's it. That's the challenge. I loved this one. The maple glaze caramelizes in the oven and the squash gets sweeter and tender without any fuss. My family was even more into it. They gave it a 9 out of 10. For me, again, maybe I'm a hater, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 with a CPR of 1. Unless you count wrestling with a raw squash, this is a super, super easy recipe. Verdict, this is the side I'd actually make to impress. Overall, here's what go-to dinners actually is. It's not weeknight survival cooking. It's not shortcut cooking. It's Ina's relaxed version of entertaining. Simplified, streamlined, and designed to make you feel capable. And her special qualities really are the heart of the book. Easy, make ahead, prep ahead, freeze ahead, assembled. Book value check. Since some recipes are online, you could skip buying the book and just grab a few that way. I didn't verify every recipe, but it's worth knowing. What you're really paying for is the full collection, the organization, and the whole comfort dinner feeling in one place. And if that's the kind of cooking you want, this book will absolutely fit your life. If you want more cookbook reviews from someone who actually cooks the recipes, subscribe. And if you've cooked from go-to dinners, tell me which one has become a regular. Wait, I totally forgot to do what the whole point of this video is, which is to actually give a rating. So let's break it down. Recipe quality counts for 70% of my rating. Across the 4 recipes I made, my average was 7 out of 10. Book quality counts for the other 30%. That's things like ingredient accessibility, instruction clarity, photography, layout, reliability, and writing voice. And honestly, for this, it was a 10 out of 10 for me. The writing voice is warm, the recipes are clear, the photography is beautiful, the layout is super easy to follow, and a bonus, I had all the ingredients. That brings the overall score for this book to 7.9 out of 10.